Hello and welcome to the Volunteer-Led Counselor Training Matrix 101 walkthrough video. My name is Chandler Metcalf, my pronouns are she, her, and hers, my camp name is Cheeto, and my role is the Operations Coordinator for KESM. Alright, this video is going to prepare you to lead volunteer counselor trainings and walk you through all of the preparatory resources that you've been given to facilitate your way through this process. So, let's get started. Who is this video for? This is for you. Volunteer coordinators, directors, operations coordinators, anyone who's going to be facilitating trainings to volunteers. This is your spot. When are these trainings going to take place? This is based on your chapter's specific timeline following counselor selection and established by you and your program coordinator. Why are we doing this video? We're wanting to make sure that all counselors, new and returning, are prepared, excited, and feeling confident in putting together an entire week of camp. And that is your goal by facilitating these trainings. And how are you going to be facilitating these trainings? You're going to be using tailor-made training materials and resources that have been created to help you succeed. So let's take a look. Before you begin to facilitate trainings, you'll be trained by your program coordinator to assist you in leading these workshops. Make sure you come prepared for this training and take a look at the agenda beforehand. Your program coordinator will be leading you through this training to prepare you for the following things: understanding what resources are available to you and how to personalize the resources as you prepare to host volunteer-led Camp KESM trainings, discussing ways to make these trainings memorable, effective, and fun, and understanding the basics of EOT videos, requirements, roles, PC timeline, all these great things, discussing specific training plans, or doing a short run-through and making a plan to share with your program coordinator in advance of your first chapter training. And finally, understanding training completion timeline per our Camp KESM standards. So this training will happen before you even step into the room to facilitate a workshop with your attendees. Before you train, and following this training with your PC, you should also take a look at the workshops. Before you facilitate one, you should open the workshop outline and personalize it, read through it, and rehearse it. Open the PowerPoint outline if using a PowerPoint and customize it to the needs of your chapter, and discuss with your co-facilitator, if you have one, what do you really want your attendees to get out of this training, out of this workshop that you're leading? Now, I know we're talking a lot about workshops and trainings, and I would love to show you where all of these materials live and how this will work for you. So, using the training materials you've been provided, you will begin to facilitate these trainings to your attendees. These outlines and topics are required, and they cannot be omitted or fundamentally changed. However, it's great to be creative. Customize the material to make it interesting and pertinent to your chapter and your campers' needs. Let's take a look at the tools. All right, I'm going to open up the counselor training matrix here. As you can see, this is where the bulk of your trainings will lie. Up here, we have the suggested timeline, required time, who can lead this training, kind of the key to what this information will tell you here in these middle segments. And up at the top, you can see the names of the trainings and about how long that they will take. Again, you're going to start out with the counselor certification training. Then you're going to have expert online training, or EOTs. These are video trainings that all counselors, cabin, program leadership team, unit leaders, etc. will be taking online. There'll be quizzes to accompany them. And then there are the volunteer-led trainings. So those are the trainings that you will be leading to your chapter. Up here we have the titles of all the trainings. You can see Camp KESM 101, Inclusive Leadership, Communication. Those are all titles. You can see the timeline for the training. They're all 1 hour. You can see who will be leading it and who will be attending, as well as if it's in person or online. Again, if you're on a virtual schedule, this may change, but for most of the part, these trainings will be taking part in person. Here, you're able to click on the workshop. This is the workshop outline that we've been talking about. And below it, you're able to click on an accompanying PowerPoint. If there are any additional handouts or resources that are pertinent to the training, those are linked here. And as you can see in these color-coded boxes above, we have intentionally aligned these trainings in a suggested sequential sequence to indicate which trainings go best at the beginning of your training process and which trainings make more sense after you have a little bit more context to help you out. Again, this is a suggested timeline, and we understand that chapters' needs may be different. You may have to move this around, talk with your program coordinator, and make sure everything makes the most sense for you. All right, now let's take a moment to open up a workshop. As you can see here, we've opened up the workshop Intersections of Identity and Camp. At the top of the workshop, there will always be a key, and then here we have the workshop key written out. Yellow highlights indicate key information, italicized text indicates script information, etc. If you scroll down, you have the agenda, the goals and the objectives, and who should attend, the supplies needed, a facilitator's note, and then as you go through, you have the workshop. Everything is outlined here for you, so it is important to go through ahead of time to understand what you will be talking about instead of just doing it on the fly. This way you can customize it and make sure that everything is interesting and relatable to the folks that you are facilitating this workshop to. Next, let's open up a PowerPoint. Here, as you can see, we have the accompanying PowerPoint intersections of identity and camp. Again, this PowerPoint has been made for you, so you can spend all the time that you have making sure these trainings are successful, interesting, and fun. If you go through this, there are places to customize information. If you want to, you don't have to. You don't have to use this PowerPoint, but it is a great learning tool to accompany your workshops. Okay, so let's go back to the matrix. This is where all these things are going to live. This is your ultimate source of truth for this process. So if you have a question, most likely it will be found here. If you can't find the answer to your question here, you can always reach out to your program coordinator. But this is how this template is used. Now let's run through some final thoughts. Work with your program coordinator as soon as possible to establish your council training schedule. Everything you need, again, it's all in the resources. These tools are very intentionally created, and they are meant to be thorough so that you can spend all the time on the fun parts, the facilitation and the engagement. Be intentional. These trainings are the only time that you have as a chapter to learn about camp, and that is really important. And remember that preparation makes the magic happen. All right, happy training, everyone.